Ebe you wake na kwa mu na afugo no here ka Nigeria do sale ihu no bosi nke tata mana mma aga sharp. Enwe post ga viral na mmogo ọnwa ma one gara aga mkpụrụ ọnwa na one gara aga. Ebe ndị Yoruba think ọdụkọ na January kọ na February ka data ebe ndị Yoruba na post si na n'ọka mma na ndị Fulani egbuchasịrị ha karịa Peter Obi iligolun. Then another post bịa pụtakwa ebe onye Yoruba na-ekwu okwu sị na enwe 4 problem na Nigeria. 1 Igbo, 2 ndị Igbo, 3 obedient, 4 ndị Igbo. Onye mmadụ mepere ọnụ ya wee kwuo. Now ijuzi onwe gị ndị na-akwụchazili ha ka ezi ebe ha nọ today obodo ha na-agbagala. O nwere ihe na-aga nna gị ekwu karịa ụmụ ha ndị Igbo na-join politics a. Ịma mma ihe unu na-eme onwe unu until ebulu alụsị Fulani herdsmen abụnata na Igbo anyị. By then, because unu na-eliga aka azụ kwado ya n'obodo ọzọ, you can no longer have the mouth to speak mgbe ọ gbadata na be gị. Ihe ọbụla gị na ndị anụ nwa na-eme gwụwa mbọ kwụba aka gị ọtọ. Nene this video ka onye Yoruba ibe ha si wee gwa ha okwu. Gwa ha okwu dị wee ha sa support ihe ọjọọ because o nwere every route and corner ọbụla eji anaghị akpọ ndị Yoruba this name betrayal. Even ndị Hausa ma ha betrayal. Kịta kezi ebe ha yehibe isi wee gwa ndị be ha nke bụ eziokwu because a lot of them akwadoghị ihe ọjọọ. Kezi ihe ha ya eme kịta. Then this video, the reason why I like you with her is that ịnọlọkwa ị na-adụ onwe gị ọdụ ka ọ na-eme ebe ọzọ ọ bụrụ na anyị ebuka anyị ebughị ibu mana it is better na anyị kwado against them on time before ha wakpo anyị karịa na anyị bịazi n'ihu agha gba ha na-ajụzi ka esi agba nka kedu ka esi eso mma nka kedu ka esi agbachi ogige nka. By then the evil has already been done. Then this video on the bye.
The security of lives and properties in Nigeria is not God's problem. It is the duty of the government of the country, and it is the duty of the individual when the government fails. Yes, if the government fails, of course, we now talk about the traditional rulers, and if everything fails, you as the man, you find a way to protect your family. And you people on the streets, you find a way to protect your locality. That's the way it is. Of course, you pray. And then when you pray, you put things in place to ensure that everything is safe. Now, this insecurity issue started decades ago when people just start rioting and jaws, and we hear a lot of riots in the north, and the moment there's a riot, they start unaliving Christians, unaliving people that are not from the north and all that. And you know, this Alimajiri thing also fueled it, and a lot of discontent, a lot of bloodletting has been swept under the rug by success by a lot of past administrations. Now, they got organized into all these Boko Haram and all that. And of course, that stuff, people thought it was a political thing. They wanted to use it to discredit ex-president Jonathan at that time. And of course, you did not know it would spiral into something that would become too big for even the people that created it to manage it. Allegedly, a particular party, I think maybe the ruling party now, maybe could be, those people that were members then, they were the ones that actually came together to, you know, politically support this movement so that it will discredit the PDP as at that time, allegedly so. We have no evidence of what we know. That as at that time, the US gave security information that on their satellites, they were seeing training camps for terrorists in Nigeria. Later, we decided to rename them that they are not terrorists, they are not Boko Haram, that they are bandits. In fact, there was time they were talking about unknown gunmen. So let's just have a recap of the history a little bit. Now, of course, there was a time it was all just in the north, and we're saying those of our people that are in the north, with the southerners, they should come home. What are they looking for in the north? If they are buying you and they are burning your stuff, come back home, come back home. And then I was worried. I was like, this thing is not child's play. Some of these people said they wanted to carry out the fantasy of Uthman Dan Fodio, that they will go through the whole country with the sword and dip their sword into the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. They want to, by force of the sword and fire and gun and blood, turn this country into an Islamic country. Of course, it's almost an Islamic country anyway. Look at our constitution now. But the point is this: these people have now come to the southwest. Initially, they were in Niger State. I was really worried. I was speaking to a lot of my people. There was time I had a particular group where we had a lot of people that are religious leaders there, and there was there I put something up there that God placed in my heart, because I've been praying about this thing for years, praying seriously. Sometimes I want to pray, and that's what God will. That's all what I would do. So I now put it up there, and I discovered that nobody reacted to it. It was not a problem to them yet. It's one of the problems we have in Nigeria. We are selfish, and that selfishness is one of the problems is one of the things that is destroying us. Because if it does not come to you yet, you would think it's not your problem until it comes to you. Because if you do not rise up when it was affecting the people in the north, when it gets to you, the people in the north say, now is your turn. Like the Yoruba will say, one of the things that I'm so worried about right now is that there are different levels of leadership in Nigeria. The political leadership, they failed, obviously, from what we can see. And then we have the religious leaders, and those ones, in fact, some of them are putting fuel on the fire, allegedly so. And then we have the traditional leaders. These ones are under attack. Sometimes these people come and carry traditional leaders. Do you know how many leaders in the north have been kidnapped and unalived? I don't know the census. I don't know the number. So even here in the southwest, some leaders have been carried away like that. Any leader that does not seem to be dancing to their tune, he can disappear. Something can happen to his town and all that. So now, here we are. Oriri local government, 2 villages in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. So it is now in the southwest. So now, if you want to tackle this thing, if you are still saying, let us pray to God, my dear, something is wrong with you. It's time for you to stand and do something about it. And if you are saying, we have men of God that are praying, my dear, a lot of those men of God, they already have the passports of other countries. And in fact, some of them have relocated. They saw the way this thing was moving, and everybody started getting a call to ministry in another country. In fact, one of the younger men of God, he has now gone to be in Kenya. And some other ones are in the UK, they're in the US, and now you follow them from afar. You listen to their messages, but they are ensconced in places where there is security, where nobody can come during the day or during the night to come and kidnap their families. They are settling themselves. So at the end of the day, of course, I am a Christian. I'm not going to come here to come and say you should not believe in your big men of God. The ones that are in Nigeria, they are so well protected. And I'm not saying by angels, about legions of angels. They are well protected by military people where they carry gun. We will say, even the bandits or terrorists or whatever they call themselves, they would think twice before they go to all those big men of God. You, that you are shouting amen and going to church and using mantle and believing in the prayer of the man of God, they can come to knock at your door. Because they have not come, their plan has not gotten to you yet. That's why you are feeling complacent. So if you do not rise up and speak, and maybe find a way to defend yourself and your community, my dear, all those things you were hearing in the north, that they kidnap some people and the state government had to pay them, my dear, it has gotten to this place now. Yes, of course, there is a political aspect to this thing now. Because I was looking at it, that why is it now that the governor of Oyo State, okay, Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde, has now joined a brand new party, the APM? Why is it that these attacks are coinciding with that time? Because of his popularity, there's a very, very high likelihood that both the APC and the PDP will not be able to sweep the polls in Oyo State. Okay, he might be able to get someone from his party, his new party, to be the governor, and even across the state, he has a possibility of winning, getting people into his party structure in that place. So now, and because of that, he's also saying now wants to be a presidential candidate in the APM and all that. So this guy is creating a lot of problem for the ruling party. Yes, even if he cannot become president, he is going to dilute or reduce the votes of the ruling party. And then even the PDP is now having a headache because it's more or less as if they've cannibalized the PDP. And so a lot of people are not happy with this guy. Even the ADC, of course, ADC is already not working anymore. So APM is now having more, clout and having more momentum. So what better way to reduce his influence and dilute his ability to have a say in the political workings of the country and his state than to create a state of insecurity? It took our president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces more than 48 hours to respond to a place, to a news that people were kidnapped in a state under his jurisdiction, under his own geopolitical zone, and where 2 teachers, I guess, were killed, and 1 person, they even gave us a video of where they beheaded a whole human being, tied him up and slaughtered him like a ram. So All of us are saying it could be anybody. I am a man of faith, but I'm telling you now, don't feel so safe where you are. It could be anybody tomorrow. So we as the people, we have to separate ourselves from the politicking, the religious ideology, and get down to business, because you don't want to work all your life and someone will just come and kidnap someone in your family and you now start a GoFundMe to look for 50 million naira to bail yourself and your family members. You don't want to do that. And these people, you know, now, and according to I don't know what we are doing as a country in Nigeria, where someone is calling himself Gumi and really coming out to be a bandit lover and the lover of people that shed blood, and is walking free. Some of the videos circulating, I was hoping it was AI. Oh, it's not AI. There was a country. But we cannot depend on the ruling people. We cannot depend on just our leaders. We, the people, we need to rise up. I'm in my 40s. I am ready. You may be in your 20s watching this video. Are you?